Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat, #1 podcast in the world. We start with a quick recap of my Vegas trip. Vegas is booming, continues to be very busy. We then get into the big social media news of the day, Barstool Sports, PENN Entertainment, ESPN. And then we talk about the U.S. debt. We talk about $1,000 a month car payments and much, much more. And of course, winners, losers, content, and a lovely number of heartwarming shout outs.
Except one from D.
Except one. I had to shit on somebody.
And shout out to the merch, Eric Deluxe, shopnewrepublic.com.
We got some new stuff up. If you have not got a chance to shop it, obviously the customer service is excellent. You will find out as you listen to this episode. But shopnewrepublic.com, check the group chat section. You'll see all the merch available. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, Cathies, we are back with another episode of Group Chat. I missed Sunday's episode. I was in the lovely Las Vegas.
How was it?
I mean, just crowded as ever. People can't get enough of this place.
So you were there for 2 trade shows?
Yeah, I was there for the Off-Price show, which Ghost had a booth at. Shout out to all the Cathies at the Off-Price show. A lot of Cathies at the Off-Price show.
Wow.
I mean, literally, like, met so many Cathies there. And then, of course, at Magic and Project, there's a ton of people. And just in the hotels, I was just running people to listen to the pod, which was awesome. But I was just, I've been to Vegas an ungodly amount this year. And every single time is slammed. Like the hallways of these hotels, the check-in, the checkouts.
I know the high-end restaurants are all slammed.
Yeah.
Are like the mid-tier restaurants slammed? Like if you were to walk to Maggiano's, is that slammed?
For sure. I put it like this. In the morning, I stayed at the Venetian. The Venetian has, in the like Palazzo Grand Canal shops, that area, a coffee bean. And then the actual Venetian on the way to the Convention Sands Expo Center, Venetian Expo, there's a Starbucks. The line for both of these coffee places was at least 75 people deep.
The way people consume coffee, especially when they're traveling, needs to be way more efficient.
Well,
because airports, there's 100 people in line.
Well, airports, you're a moron if you wait in line because every Starbucks at an airport actually has mobile ordering. So you do not have to wait in that line.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're waiting in line, it's because you're probably a loser.
Fair. I mean, I don't drink coffee, so
you
doesn't affect me.
Yes, you would be a loser if you knew they had mobile ordering. In Vegas, none of these locations have mobile ordering. Starbucks removes mobile ordering because the demand is too high.
Right.
So they're at the Resort World, they have a mobile ordering. I ordered, this is the last time I was in Vegas a few months back for a trade show. I ordered at 6:45 in the morning, my coffee. It was ready at 8.
I remember you saying that.
It's that busy at these, during trade shows or whatever it is. People are awake. But yeah, it's the whole city, the traffic, the airport. It's just busy. There's just like, I'm at this point shocked given that there are so many places in the world to go. So to me, 20 years ago, when I started going to Vegas, the illusion of Vegas was one, very inexpensive accommodations. You could get a room at a nice hotel for $100, right? You could stay at it.
There's times you could get it for $60.
Yeah,
Luxor, $60.
Yeah, $60, right? And then if you didn't have money, you could go get a decent meal for like a reasonable price.
Like, what do you think the Orleans? Do you think the Orleans is packed? We used to stay there during 20 years ago. Magic.
Funny you say that. The last time I was in Vegas, I had a meeting near the Orleans and I had to take a Zoom call. So I went to the Orleans. Busy.
And then Orleans is what, at least a few miles off the strip?
Yeah, it's off the beaten
path. It's not
path.
a desirable location. No offense.
There's no desire to be at the
I think
Orleans.
they have a bowling alley. That's the desire.
Okay, yeah. It's I actually sat in the coffee shop there. Low scene. I could not, like just the traffic on the strip. So fun fact, they're doing a ton of construction for Formula One.
Oh yeah, that's November coming up.
They're not ready for that. I talked to someone that is in that industry who's getting ready, and they're like, I don't understand how they're going to get ready for it. So they have a lot of work and a lot of money to spend.
And that's really curious because it's on the strip.
Yeah.
The course.
Yeah.
So they have to shut down the strip to build parts of it?
Yeah, so they're basically like on the strip yesterday, there was a portion that was one lane. Because I think you have to smooth out the fucking ground, right? Like you can't have like divots or pebbles because cars are going to.
You can't have the 4-foot margaritas just laying around.
Yeah, Fat Tuesdays, just like walking around. And but going back to Vegas, like when I think, I actually had a conversation with someone that runs one of the shows. I was like, to me, if I'm going to do business, I don't want to go spend a fortune on hotels, a fortune on dinner. It's too expensive to do trade shows in Vegas as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You go to anywhere, you go to a round of drinks, $300. You want dinner, $1,000.
I asked you the question yesterday when you came back. I was like, what's the vibe? Is everyone rich? And you said yes.
I said everyone, and then I randomly asked someone that was on the plane with me. I was like, is everyone rich? He's like, no, everyone spends all their money.
We're going to get to a topic later because there's much more blockbuster news, but it feels sort of, and the data may reflect it, like Big Short, that scene in Vegas where everyone's just good times, good times, good times, and no one has any concern about the debt issues and a lot of these different macro factors that are affecting consumers. And we'll get to that later, but the way you've described Vegas, because I've only been in and out for like sports book watching a game. I haven't really walked around and experienced it like you have. I don't sense it. And obviously I'm going on an NFL weekend. It's going to be busy no matter what. This isn't like a Tuesday.
I think the thing about Vegas is, and this is like, I've said comments, and it's funny because you'll see it on TikTok where we're like, what is this guy talking about? You can't go to Europe. If you're going to Vegas for a weekend and you want to go out to dinner, potentially see a show, maybe go to a nightclub. If you're a male, you probably end up at a strip club. The amount of money you are spending, you can go to Europe.
Yes, easy.
You can. It's ungodly expensive. Las
Vegas.
What
are flights now? $300
to Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't book it far in advance, it's $300. Especially on a weekend, it's definitely $300. And then if you want to stay anywhere decent, I said the Venetian, we had a rate. It was like $175 because I was in this tower that's like 17 miles away from like basically civilization. And so we got like a good rate, but like it's just, and then the check-in line was insane. Luckily it was an Indian guy with security. He's like, just come follow. He just let me cut to the front.
And the check-in line's insane, even at the most high-end hotels.
Yeah, everything is just insane. Yeah, so I mean, I think, but my point was when I was talking to the lady that runs the show, I said, if I were to, think about where the biggest opportunity to do a trade show is, to me, is Nashville. And the reason why is accommodations in Nashville are cheap still. Going out to dinner, it's fast casual. Like that's the vibe of restaurants. Alcohol is fairly inexpensive. Tons of space. Traffic is not an issue yet. And I think it's a place that still not everyone has been to. And like, if I'm going for business, like I don't want to spend extra money just because of the city.
And it's a center, right?
Yeah, it's not far.
For New York, it's quick. For LA, it's
Florida. Yeah, like the South.
So there was, I forget which real estate private equity firm, but one of the big ones basically handed back the keys on like 35 Courtyard Marriotts.
Oh, yeah, I read that.
And I sent it to a real estate friend that was like, what's going on here? Like, I thought hotels were the safe spot because we know commercial real estate elsewhere is screwed. Tough. And he said, the problem is it's total tier 1 cities. The conferences are working like Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And these Courtyard Marriotts were in some of these tier 2 and tier 3 cities that used to be able to attract conferences, and they're not going there.
Wow.
And so these hotels that were requiring business travelers just don't exist because the conferences don't want to be there. And I guess like when you used to travel around, you had all these different shows, right? In Atlanta.
But so there was another trade show in Chicago that our team went to that said it was slammed. So Chicago's, I guess,
That's
a
a
tier one city.
Yeah. So, but that was the explanation why these 30 Marriotts had to give back the keys. That the conference world in those cities didn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's possible. It could also be that business travelers clearly not all the way back.
Like, do you think Orlando is a big conference city?
Yeah.
You think it's booming?
Orlando. Yes. I think Orlando survives the conference.
It is. There's a lot of conferences there.
There's a lot of hotels. You have to go places where there's tons of hotels.
And you could make the excuse to bring your family to go to Disney World or Harry Potter World.
And I think that's what Las Vegas is. There's an excuse to come there, right? Because it's fun, it's whatever. My problem with Las Vegas now, it just seems so overpriced to like...
For what you get.
Yeah. Like to spend that kind of money on dinner and then hotels and then travel and then taxis and
Vegas
Ubers.
gets really ugly if you just peel the layer back a little.
You peel anything, it smells terrible. Yeah.
But even the hotels, they look ostensibly amazing.
Yeah.
But then if you actually pay attention once you walk through the casino floor, it's like...
Yeah, it's disgusting. So I'm long Nashville for conferences.
It's a good call.
I think that's where... I also think there's not enough people that have been there that are going to be curious to like eat the food and hang out at the bars.
I've been once. It was great.
Yeah. I think to me, that's where if I was going to launch a new conference, that's where I would go. But all right, let's move on to... very big news for the social media world. I don't know if you don't follow social media, you may not care about this news, but pretty blockbuster in the media world. It was announced yesterday afternoon that PENN Entertainment, which is a gambling conglomerate, which bought Barstool Sports for a reported $550 million a few years ago, which was started by Dave Portnoy, that they were dissolving their relationship with them and basically handing the keys. It's like the Courtyard Marriott.
Yep.
They handed the keys back to Dave Portnoy, seemingly for no money, and immediately announced a deal where they are going to pay ESPN $1.5 billion over the next 10 years for the rights to use the ESPN name in sports books. Branded sportsbook.
And $500 million in warrants.
So they get the option to get the stock at some cheap price. Very, very blockbuster in the sports media world. It's actually, in my opinion, the most amazing scenario for all parties involved.
I think for one party, I actually think I'll take the counter on the PENN.
You think PENN got a bad deal?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think so. The idea is they're going to launch ESPN branded casinos. That's the whole thing. ESPN is a dying brand,
but
for
it's
many reasons.
But it's a safe brand.
It's safe, but I don't think a 23-year-old that's going to be gambling in 10 years cares about ESPN.
Yeah, but it's just here's the way that I would counter that is
because the people our age, we have off the books bookies.
Yeah.
We're not ever going to go to ESPN Bet. We're never going to go to the PENN
physical. I mean, if you end up going to ESPN for watch a game and you could put some action, the waiter comes by and goes, well, you have the Bud Light and $100 on the Rams. You're going to do that. You're not going to do that. And the problem with Barstool, the challenge for PENN is Barstool is polarizing of a brand.
Well, it's also,
it's not, it's not like ESPN is safe. You're just like, for example, you're a liberal LA sports fan. You may not walk into a Barstool Sports. I'm not a bro. I'm not, I fucking hate Boston or whatever. You may say something like that and literally not walk into a Barstool Sports. Whereas ESPN, you're walking in.
So if we just rewind, let's do the Dave Portnoy part.
Yeah.
So PENN was clearly flirting with Disney for a while now.
Yeah.
Who knows how long? It hasn't been reported.
Yeah.
And Disney clearly told PENN, we're not doing this deal as long as Portnoy and Barstool are involved.
Yeah, because it's competitive.
Not only is it competitive, Dave Portnoy in his emergency press conference said, I've said things that have prevented PENN from getting gambling license in certain jurisdictions. So
yeah, they were over him.
They were like, we need to focus on getting PENN. Look at their stock price.
Yeah.
It went like, it was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It went up and totally crashed.
Yeah.
It's at like March 2020 pandemic levels when everything was down.
Yep.
And they had to make a move because their core business, and this is the problem. It's almost analogous to what's going on in weed, at least in like California and all the legal states. Because the punishment for running an illegal weed business isn't that harsh. You're not going to jail. They turn the other way. It's the same with bookies now. 20 years ago, bookies, if they got caught, could have gone to jail.
Yeah.
Could have been called for racketeering and all these charges like evading taxes and all this stuff. That doesn't exist anymore because gambling, even though it's only legal in however many states, is effectively been accepted in society as like, you're allowed to gamble off the books, on the books. We don't care.
Yeah.
And the PENN model is basically, and now the ESPN bet model is basically suckering the average Joe that's doing the 3-4 parlay.
Yeah. It's an option trader.
No, it's just the dummy better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say that's option. Zero-sum game.
Yeah. And it's like, there's all these memes like when the NFL opens, can't wait for that plus 10,000 parlay that I'm betting. Yeah. We all know, we've been gamblers forever. Those parlays you never hit.
You never win.
Never win.
You don't win money gambling. Like 95% of the population.
And the Mon who listens to the pod wrote a great essay on Twitter. And he said the VIG on Barstool or PENN Gaming is 20%. And the average casino's 5 to 7%. So it's because of this parlay nonsense.
Yeah. And he's pushing it.
Yeah,
Barstool's pushing it. He's like, I got a winner of the century.
So they're suckering in the average Joe. Yeah. So that's going to long term be some sort of lawsuit by the federal government saying Consumer Protection Act. Yeah. You're completely bamboozling our customers. Yeah. And then you have the other piece on the ESPN side is you have all these journalists with inside information.
Yeah. Which affects gambling odds.
So Shams in the NBA draft pushed Scoot was going to be 2 and Brandon Miller was going to be 3 the night before. The gambling odds flipped. It was like minus 500 to plus 150. Yeah. And then it started flipping the next day and his information was wrong. Yeah. But he's known as the guy who knows everything.
And he's an ESPN guy.
He's actually works for FanDuel. Okay. Which is a gambling site, which is even worse. Yeah. And the point is now you have all these insiders on ESPN that are reporting things that are not always true.
I mean, this happens in stocks. People go and pump stocks on CNBC all their day, and then the next week it's tanked. Jim Cramer's saying this is the buy of the century.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's a little different because when they say a trade's happening, like if Adam Schefter reports a trade, it's probably happening. Mm-hmm. And how do you let insiders report when you own a gambling? They said, oh, there's going to be a Chinese wall. We know the Chinese wall doesn't work. Wall Street's the only ones that get away with this stuff. Yeah. Other industries don't.
Why is it called a Chinese wall? Called a Great Wall? Or Chinese make good walls?
Maybe they do. But it's been called the Chinese wall for decades.
Oh, sounds racist.
I didn't come up with it.
Okay.
But anyways, so they have that issue too. Because they have all these insiders reporting and then people are dropping hints and clues on First Take. And I don't know. I just don't think it's a slam dunk for PENN, ESPN.
I think it's a slam dunk for Dave Portnoy.
For Portnoy, absolutely. He got a free option.
So the one clause is that if he ever sells the business, he has to give 50% to PENN. Yeah. And he said, I'll never sell it.
He said, I'll
die with this.
I'll die with it.
Well, now because he's made his money.
He's made his money.
So he could just do it for fun, which makes the brand even better. When you don't have to make money, your brand is unbeatable.
Yeah, and he's going to go back to
being himself.
Yeah, the old school Barstool.
Being irreverent.
Did you watch some of his videos?
I haven't seen anything.
Okay, so he did 2 videos that I saw, which I feel like almost every business owner would love to pursue.
Yeah.
But their, hands are tied by HR.
Yeah.
He walked in to Barstool this morning.
Okay.
And he starts filming. Like 70% of the office, no one's there.
Yeah.
And he just starts screaming and cussing. He goes, "Are these people fucking brain dead?"
Yeah.
After this announcement, you don't even show up to the office.
Yeah.
And he just starts screaming and yelling at the whole team. Obviously, all those people are going to see it within seconds. He's doing this like live.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Everyone better show up. We're in the office." And he's just screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
Which I think is amazing.
What was the comments on the video?
I didn't see the comments.
Yeah.
But if anyone could pull the comments up.
Yeah.
Then the second video he did was apparently PENN Gaming had business cards that were at the front desk. So if you thought there was behavior that was, offensive or, something,
you can report it.
You can report it to this anonymous call.
Yeah.
He took the card, threw it, and said, "Fuck this." He goes, "If you want to snitch, you want to be a narc on someone, we're doing it live, and you got to do it on camera, and we're creating content."
That's unbelievable.
It's so funny.
Yeah, look, I mean,
this guy's untouchable. Like, he broke every SEC law during lockdowns, and nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
He was just pumping stocks to millions of people.
I think you have to realize that, like,
if you're that obtruse with your illegal behavior, no one does anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, why we think like SBF is going to walk. He was just open about it. He's like, they're morons. They're never going to do anything.
It's always the poor Asian or Indian Goldman analyst that gets like 10 years in prison.
Yeah, well, don't be that guy. But I think it's exciting. I'm curious to see what he does with the business, the brand. I mean, I'm sure
it's a free option.
And you're raking in ad money still. And you're at the cusp of the NFL season and college football, which is where
you're gonna peak.
Yeah.
Part of my take's the #1 sports podcast in the world.
Yeah. So as long as all those people stay,
I gotta imagine that podcast alone makes $25 million in revenue.
Yeah, I think it's that big.
#1?
Literally #1?
Literally #1 for years.
Okay. Yeah, then it probably is doing that kind of revenue. Wow. Okay. Great. I mean, very exciting for the online content world.
Very exciting.
Big news.
Trending all day.
And I think, Disney just reported their earnings, beat on earnings, missed on revenue.
Missed on subs.
Stock's down a little. They are cutting another $5.5 billion of cost. I thought this would give them, I like the idea of Disney going into the gambling business. I think they might as well just create Disneyland into a casino at this point. They need all the money they can get. The parents should be able to go to a casino while Mickey Mouse takes care of your kids.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN's like, what are they going to do with Pat McAfee now? He's like Barstool-esque.
Yeah.
He's supposed to say what he thinks. Is he going to get neutered?
No. Why? They're going to gambling.
My point is that's why Portnoy was.
But Portnoy is he pushes it to a limit that's uncomfortable for a publicly traded company. That's different. I don't think Pat McAfee and Dave Portnoy, Dave Portnoy just says whatever the hell he wants. Literally whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So I think it's a tougher sell. But it's great for him, man. He's the man.
He already made his money. Now he's a free option.
Yeah.
Because it's instantly profitable. They have some of the biggest podcasts around.
Yeah.
And high margin business.
Yeah, exactly.
So he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. It's exciting. Let's move on to other things that are not doing well. Incredible statistics here on the debt of United States, and it is fucking scary. So one of the things that it was really interesting. So it's saying 17 trillion in household debt.
Mm-hmm.
That's a record. Record 12 trillion in mortgages. record 1.6 trillion in auto loans, record 1.6 trillion in student loans, record 1 trillion in credit card debt. Total mortgage debt is now more than double the 2006 peak. Meanwhile, 36% of Americans have more credit card debt than savings, while student loan payments are set to resume for the first time since 2020. And so this is from a really great Twitter account called Kobayashi Letter. And he or she ends it with, "We are fighting inflation with debt. This can't end well." Pretty crazy. It definitely feels like everyone's YOLOing. I think from the rich to the poor, everyone's like, fuck it. What are you going to do? You're going to bail us out at this point.
Or you cut rates. I don't know. Like, what the fear is, if unemployment jacks up, then the economy breaks.
I just don't. I mean, UPS just ended their contract dispute with their, was it Teamsters? Or UPS Teamsters? Their union, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's getting them payments of up to $170,000 for a truck driver.
And I'm sure with overtime,
and then they gave hourly wages, workers went up, and just all the benefits are now going to these employees. So I don't see wages going down. Wages are only going to go up, and I do not see unemployment being an issue anytime soon. I just do not see it. We're not going to 6% unemployment. We're at 3.5%.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. So
have 9+ million job openings.
I think the thing is, consumers just really don't do the math, because you have 25% credit card debt, but your monthly payment doesn't seem very threatening.
Yeah. So it says average American credit card balance is at a record $7,300. Meanwhile, the median household has just $5,300 in savings.
So if you're at $7,300 in credit card debt, even at 25% rates, your minimum
$100
payment,
bucks a month, $150 a month,
$200 probably.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's like that Shaq Kenny Smith argument.
You always get $100 gas.
Yeah. Why does it matter what the gas price is? $100 is $100.
And I would say Shaq represents America.
So that's how everyone thinks.
Yeah. My credit card payment is $150. I don't know if it's 25% interest or 50% interest.
Or 5.
Or 5.
Doesn't matter.
I have $150 budget to my credit card.
Yes. I think that's what's going on.
The thing that this doesn't account for is
because unemployment is so low that people know they're getting their next month's income. They're going to
get their next paycheck. And the other thing people forget is that folks that do have savings are not earning 0.0% anymore. Yeah. Like there's $120 billion of interest income a month right now that is hitting Americans' pockets. So when you see a couple
stimulus.
What?
That's a stimulus.
That's my point is there is a stimulus that's inherently happening.
Especially if you go minimum credit card payments.
Yeah.
Stimulus on interest rates, you don't have to change your life.
Exactly. So I think there is I'm not as doomsday as everyone, but it feels a little surreal what's happening, because if student loan payments happen starting in October, I think, September, October, I think that is going to suck a lot of, discretionary income out of the economy, and something will suffer there. My guess, it's probably a mix of retail and services and travel, like that's that combination, because essentials that your rent's not going to get suffered, gas is not going to get suffered. The biggest concern I have shorter term, I think gas prices they're definitely gone up. Like you're seeing it back all over the city. Gas prices are up. I'm concerned that will cause a lot of money. If you take gas prices, student loan, all of those things at once, then you're perfect storm. There's going to be a lot of money sucked out. So but I don't know, if as long as there's unemployment, people might just stomach it all and keep going.
Yeah, I don't think people do the math and don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
It doesn't, not about doing the math. You're like, $150 is $150.
Yeah. So maybe it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another insane stat by another great Twitter account called The Car Dealership Guy. And he posted a map of the United States, and it said the percentage of state residents paying more than $1,000 a month in car payments in Q2. Number one state was Texas, where more than 1 in 5 shoppers in Texas and Wyoming committed to a monthly payment over $1,000 driven by purchases of large trucks. It's kind of nuts if your car payment. I have 2 cars. Both of mine are significantly under $1,000. I mean, that's a lot of money, $1,000 a month for cars.
But why Texas and Wyoming?
He said large trucks. Large trucks during COVID, that time frame, people were paying F-150, these big trucks, and the demand was so high, the payments were so high. There's like a TikTok that went viral about like some office in Nebraska or something where they go, how much you pay for your car? I got a blah, blah, blah Denali for $1,500 a month. This person, $1,200 a month. That feels like an easy place where it could nosedive, where people just be like, fuck it, take the car back, default on the car payments. Like, that's where the first usually thing drops. It's not going to be your rent or your home. It'll be, why am I paying $1,500 to drive this pickup truck?
Yeah.
But it's an insane number.
Yeah. And I think auto loans are at 9% interest. On average.
On average? Which is high, yeah. And I'm sure it's higher based on your credit, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So,
I mean, in theory, everyone's credit score should be going down, given the math.
I'd love to see what the national credit score is compared to 6 months ago.
Yeah, because if you're increasing more debt, you're not paying it off quicker. Interest rates are higher. Your credit score goes down.
I'll tell you, I'm seeing prices drop. I haven't seen them drop at a restaurant, but in travel, I had to book a red eye for Sunday night, and I looked Tuesday, and I saw the price. I'm like, it's kind of high, more than I normally pay. I looked this morning; it dropped $600.
Wow.
So I think like even the hotel that I normally stay at, not expensive. I'm getting offers from like all the different hotel organizations I usually stay at, like Hilton's or Wyndham's or whatever, all those little chains of like insane deals on hotels for Q3 and Q4 that I was not getting offered for before. So I do think the travel surge is ending and that prices will normalize there too. Maybe not at the luxury level, but I think like at your mid-tier price points, I think it'll stop. It seems
at some point, people need to stop traveling.
Here's my prediction. I think that travel has gotten so expensive that come Q4, I believe there will be a shift back into goods from travel. Like here's the thing. We know Americans can't save money. They have to stuff their face with something. I think they're done stuffing their face with travel.
Back to appliances and
they'll
TVs.
buy something. They'll buy something.
The grill.
They'll buy a grill. They'll buy an air fryer, whatever it is. But like, they're not going to spend the money on
brick oven pizza.
Yeah, whatever the novelty item of the year is. I think that's what's going to happen in Q4. I think Christmas will actually be good for retail. I think travel is just too expensive, and people are like, dude, it's insane.
Yeah, maybe. Every prediction I've made on travel has been wrong. So
the one prediction I did make is on Dutch Bros, and the stock is absolutely soaring as they crush earnings, beat on revenue, beat on earnings, and guided higher. America loves junky iced coffees. Yeah. My prediction was for the next 10 years, Dutch Bros will be the best performing stock. I think it'll outperform every asset.
And what was your take? How'd you know this?
I'm just a fan of what they do. It's a simple formula. It's like high calorie fucking sugar drinks. It's based around iced coffee. 90% of the coffee they serve is iced. The coffee market is shifting. Like when you walk around LA and all these like boutique coffee places and they're doing all this like bullshit drip fucking Colombian nonsense bullshit. That is so fucking LA and New York. No one wants to drink that shit. That is some fake. Those are not good. We want a frappuccino, salted caramel, whipped cream.
And it's an in-and-out spot, meaning like people aren't having laptops.
The drive-thrus are insane for this place.
There's no laptop crowd.
Computers.
You go to any LA coffee shop, half the place just on their laptops, fake working.
Yeah. I mean, if you're at like one of those like artisanal coffee shops working on your laptop, you're going nowhere in life, just to let you know. Nothing serious is happening at that coffee shop. If you're there to like, pick up on girls or guys, I can accept that. And the laptop is a front because there are good looking people in those coffee shops, to be fair. Because it's like, there's no sugar, there's no fun. But if you're thinking they're going to go work out of like some artisanal coffee shop, that's a joke.
People are in like full on Zooms at these coffee shops. They have their headphones on.
Yeah. It's so annoying.
And I was like, why would you take a Zoom here?
You can go to the public library and they have rooms. Air conditioned rooms, public library. Like little hall where you could sit by yourself quietly and be on a Zoom for free.
But you spend $20 on coffee.
You'd rather have a $20
and have people just in your Zoom nonstop.
Yeah, walking by. And then you're annoying the whole coffee shop with your stupid ass Zoom.
Yeah, that's offensive. A Zoom in a public coffee shop.
Yeah. The amount of people that do that everywhere, like just talking on Zooms in public places, we should make that illegal.
I'm fine with it. Like smoking.
Yeah.
Can't smoke indoors.
Yeah. If you Zoom in a public location, I think you should be arrested.
Or at least fined.
I'm okay with arrested.
Okay.
I know in LA we would never arrest anyone. We'd probably arrest someone for this before anything else.
Yeah, like what are you trying to do? Make money?
Yeah, get out of here. We're a socialist state. Another stock that reported, which is kind of surprising, Roblox stock plummeted 20%, driven really by revenue and usage. I thought gaming was hot.
Well, the COVID bump's over. Kids are back in school. Roblox is for 12-year-olds.
They reported a net loss of $282 million. They said they have 65.5 million average daily active users, which is still up 25% from the previous year.
What was that number? How many?
65 million average daily active users. Their revenue grew, but they're just losing a lot of money. So is that just because I thought kids make the game? They're not even they don't make games, don't they? Does Roblox make games? Or do kids make the games on Roblox? Isn't it like a platform where anyone
the volume's 57 million shares today. Down 21%. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
still an $18 billion company.
Roblox added that it expects to continue to report losses for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think they probably need a lot more medicine to take because they lost $250 million just in the quarter.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that I'm surprised that like just historically these gaming companies have done quite well. Like they make money.
Yeah, like the console games do.
Yeah.
This is more of a marketplace, right?
Yep. I don't know. I think it's pretty crazy.
I mean, they're doing roughly, call it 2.8 billion run rate revenue.
Yeah.
Run rate loss 1.2 billion. Not a great business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised that just how
like there's no excuse in the last 2 years that you didn't cut enough to make profits.
Yeah.
The market told you the beginning of I'm getting my years messed up. 22. Beginning of 22.
You got to cut.
You got to be profitable.
Yeah. When you look at the companies that did that, Meta is obviously the poster child. Like they publicly went out, changed course, made sure people knew they were focused on profitability, cut expenses, and the stock was rewarded. For these guys to come out and say we're going to lose money for the foreseeable future, it's stupid. It says bad CFO.
Only bad CFO. I just don't think the problem is they don't want to sacrifice growth because that's the only thing that is keeping them at an $18 billion valuation.
Yeah.
You're losing them $1.2 billion a year.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if the market lets them lose it, then it doesn't matter.
I mean, these companies just slowly die. It takes years.
Yeah.
It takes years.
I think and that's the credit to like big tech is that they actually do take quite a big amount of risk. Like Facebook has taken tremendous amount of
But it's
risk.
because their core product is so profitable.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point, is that they have a core product, but they also do cut things when it fails. Like Threads will be wiped off the planet Earth.
We
in
wouldn't
6
even know
months.
Threads existed.
No, it's dead. It's 12 feet under. It's not even 6. Have you been on it since? No chance. Yeah. It's a joke. He should just shut it down tomorrow.
And just not tell anyone.
Never talk about it again. What?
Yeah, just do the Donald Trump.
Yeah. He's been having some good one-liners
His
lately.
clips have been insane.
Where's Chris Christie? He's eating somewhere.
And then he started saying, "Oh, you called him a fat pig. Don't call him a fat pig. Fat pig, fat pig. Don't call him a fat pig." He's absolutely
Why doesn't he just go on a tour?
comedy tour,
I would go see a Donald Trump comedy tour.
political comedy tour,
You just give him topics.
like the opposite of Jon Stewart.
Yeah, exactly opposite. And you let the audiences ask questions. He'll probably insult them.
Get another good one. What was it?
Oh my God. God. Someone who listened to this podcast told me a story. I don't want to share the details because I don't want to give it away. But basically, God asked a guy he knows got to go golfing with Trump. And there was another big donor also there with Trump. And I don't want to say the industry he's in, but whatever industry this guy was in. And Donald Trump started to his advisors clowning this donor who gives him millions of dollars. Like, I'm not gonna golf with that guy. That guy's a fucking loser, basically.
Yeah.
Ignored him and refused to golf with him. This is a guy that gave him millions of dollars, just insulting him. He does not give two shits.
No. And that guy probably is going to donate more.
Yes, that's unbelievable. That's brand loyalty. All right, let's move on to other really, really scary news. So I saw the clips briefly this morning. I have not been following the story extremely closely, but in Maui, in Hawaii, there has been some epic wildfires.
Yep.
And because of the wind, it has really spread really across the whole island.
Yep.
And 6 people as of now are already dead. Property obviously is so precious in that part of the state. Has there been any more updates? But it just looks insane.
Yeah. I think it's real time because I didn't even know this was happening.
Yeah.
Until recently. But it looks pretty scary. And if you've been to Maui, you've been to this side of the island.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a remote part.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this is just another product of global warming. And there was this house that fell pretty into the ocean, pretty catastrophically. And this famous right-wing Twitter guy goes, "This is Bill Gates' house." And Community Notes immediately said, "This is not Bill Gates' house."
Yeah.
But the fact that they just want to take any tragedy and just blame it on either a conspiracy theory or some liberal is pretty crazy. And they get no punishment for it.
No, it's a smart tactic.
But no, I mean, just the pictures look absolutely crazy. And there's a lot of tourists right now in Maui. I have friends in Maui right now.
That's insane. Yeah, this is peak vacation season.
Yeah.
Families are going this is the last couple of weeks of summer break.
They're saying people are diving into the ocean, trying to run away from the fires.
It's really devastating for the island because it is something that relies so much on tourism, and it's going to be hopefully it gets contained and it's not as serious as it.
Yeah, and the Hawaii's being impacted by 2 offshore storms to the north and the south is creating the major winds, and the rain's too far away to kind of help with the reduction of the fire.
Wow.
Scary.
Yeah.
Especially the number of the locals and the tourists.
Yeah. No, it's really scary. Okay, you shared some interesting new tweet here, shared by John Pompliano. He's talking about Pedestrian traffic compared to pre-pandemic levels. So is this just people walking around?
I think it's just trying to show like the activity in a city.
So Salt Lake City is up 139%. That has to be purely based on people moving. More people moved to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And so just the quantum of people walking around is just more.
Yeah.
There's more people. That's my guess. New York is at 67%. Miami's at 63%.
New York being at 67 is kind of shocking because it looks pretty crowded. When I was there,
I just think that work traffic isn't back.
Yeah.
A lot of people in New York City are work from home still. Like I know a lot of businesses that are once or twice in the office a week, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if your average company is even only in the office 4 days a week or 3 days a week, you're talking 20-40% less foot traffic. In the most popular parts of the city, sure, the traffic may seem high because of tourism, but if you take the whole city as a whole, I mean,
I wonder how much LA is crime related. Like you don't feel as safe walking around.
I think it has an impact, but I really think it's just work from home. Like downtown LA is a ghost town.
Century City's a ghost town.
Century City is a ghost. That's like two hubs that we know people used to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Curious to see. You're seeing all. There's like an epic battle that's been it's happening now in corporate America. Basically, every company's like everyone's back to work. You're back in the office. The big companies. Workers clearly have said they don't want that. They want their cake and eat it. I want to work from home. I want to watch a movie during.
Even everyone I know at big companies, it's hybrid.
Yeah,
I don't know that many 5 day a week people.
I do.
But the traffic reflects it.
Yeah.
That there aren't.
Yeah. Well, I think small businesses, which make up most of the workers in America, they're all hybrid or have no office. Like all these businesses that are in all these office buildings are not big companies. It's the 10-person, the 5-person, the 15-person law firm. That guy and that woman is like, why am I paying this rent? Like, fuck it. We can make the same money. None of our clients visit us. What's the point of having an office?
Yeah, no, it's true.
I mean, lawyers, accountants. Yeah, I don't know. It is a really interesting statistic though. All right, let's move on. We have a lot of shout outs and we have to do winners, losers content. All right, winner of the week. Who is your winner?
The Ventura County Sheriff Department.
All right, if you follow us on Instagram, we shared a story where one of our childhood friends,
who's been on this pod, Hurry,
whose father, 78-year-old, extremely active. I mean, he's been doing marathons since we were kids. I think he just recently stopped doing marathons. Very healthy, very active. Went on a hike with a hiking group. What happened exactly?
So apparently he kind of lost the larger group and fell behind and went off trail. So started making wrong turns. And the trail is very specific of how to get to the end point and the back point, the front point. And there's massive forests and canyons, miles and miles deep if you don't stay on the trail.
Yeah.
Which are not safe.
And so on Sunday evening, we get a message from Hari saying, hey, I haven't heard from my dad. We have a search and rescue link he sent us from Ventura County. I'm at the show and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
And it said that they're looking for him and they haven't been in touch with them via cell phone since Saturday at 5:30.
Yep.
It's now Sunday at basically 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like obviously extremely concerned. And, you were talking to him at that point. And then I go to sleep. And then in the morning, I see that you've gone to the hiking site.
Yeah, which is like the border of Kern County and Ventura County. Very far from where we are today.
Yeah.
Where we live.
And you're texting us that you're here. this is an insane setting. Like there's police, there's fire, there's like a lot of people working on this. And then like, I don't know, 15 minutes later, you're sharing that I think they found him.
Right.
How did they find him?
So it was like a scene out of a movie.
Yeah.
So Amanda and I went super early in the morning to be with Hari and his fiance Bianca. Just like a support, to be honest, because who knows what was going to happen. And we get there and you have, the way I describe it is like Tommy Lee Jones in Fugitive.
Mm-hmm. When they're setting up the perimeter.
Setting up the perimeter to look for Harrison Ford. And the sergeant and the sheriff have these search and rescue team and telling
this department literally does this. They know how to do this.
Yeah. And the search and rescue team, by the way, are volunteers.
Wow.
They are not paid. The sergeant sheriff that are around, and people do this on their off day.
Wow.
Like they have this passion for like contributing to society. And so we get there and we're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I didn't know what to run into or what I was walking into. And then once they like decide what the plan is, like this team's going to this part of the canyon, this team's going this part of the canyon, then all of a sudden helicopters just start flying in and groups of search and rescue volunteers are at 10 at a time are like jumping in these helicopters. Then you see the helicopters fly to one side of the canyon, drop. Then you see a helicopter fly to the other side of the canyon and drop.
It's literally a movie.
Absolute movie. We're in the middle of nowhere. Like, to be honest, I know where we were, but I had no idea where we were.
You don't even realize there's like forests out here.
No. And, you know, all of a sudden the sergeant was basically like, I think we found him. And then obviously they can't confirm. So it took a couple hours, even though he was hinting, like he's like, don't text anyone. We don't know if it's him. And let me tell you how far away he was from the start of the trail, because we were at the start of the trail.
Miles
And over a canyon.
And this is almost 2 days now.
2 days. And they warned us about bears.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go on the trail, there's bears here.
Bears are scary.
Bears are scary. And then driving into the canyon, there's bear signs everywhere. Like, beware of bears. Yeah, it's nothing short of a miracle.
And he's fine and healthy.
He's fine and healthy. 48 hours in the woods.
Dehydrated? Did he have like
He was
food?
dehydrated.
Did he have snacks on him or anything?
No, nothing.
Wow. So you don't really need to eat.
He had a half a liter of water.
And then, but was there fresh water, creeks, or
There's creeks, so we don't like
maybe
know the full
potentially
story. Maybe
so no food.
Maybe he was plucking if there's berries or something out. I don't know.
What are bears eating?
Berries.
I know, but what are bears eating out there?
Animals, probably, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Do they
wild.
eat snakes? Do they eat raccoons? I have no idea what bears
They're just
eat.
eating whatever they can get. That's nuts. Such a crazy story.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was a scene out of the movie, and obviously everyone in our family and friends, exhilarating experience, but extremely happy ending.
Yeah, that's incredible. I'm so glad that everything worked out, and he's obviously happy, healthy, safe. Wow, what a story!
Crazy story. I have one more winner.
Yeah,
we talked about it enough. Taylor Swift. The number of people that I know have gone, and everyone has the exact same reaction.
It's 6 nights. The whole city went.
Yes. And every day someone new is posting.
Yeah.
Just for like context, in my fantasy football league chat, 10 males, 8 of the 10 went.
I mean, they're all married, right?
Yeah, most. Not one's not. He went.
One single guy went by himself.
I don't think he went by himself.
Who went? Who is he?
Anthony.
He went by himself?
No, he didn't go by himself, but I
Okay.
think he went last night.
Okay. I didn't see him posting it was the greatest show ever.
He can't.
All right, I'm going to ask him. All right. So Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Okay. It's funny. I had a friend of ours text us. He's like, "You're going to Taylor Swift?" I was, "No." He goes, "I kind of want to go." I'm like, "You should go." Like, why do I got to go with you? You should go. Enjoy.
Who's the friend?
John.
Which John?
A.
Okay. Yeah, he would love it.
I was like, "You should go. If you're a fan, you should go." Like, it's not that I'm not a fan, but
He's a fan of experiences.
yeah, I'm like, you'll like it. It's something you like doing interesting things. You should go. My winner, I'm going to go with UPS drivers. I'm not going to say UPS is the winner because I think it's going to affect the cost of shipping a package. But average pay of a UPS truck driver will be $170,000, which includes obviously pay, benefits, and healthcare and pensions. But it really is going to be a life-changing opportunity for a lot of people. They are changing their part-time workers to get at least $21 an hour. It's an incredible thing. I'm curious to see how it affects UPS's core business. If they're offering this much of an increase in pay, they either see that they have the margin in their business to stomach it, or they see demand coming in the coming years to kind of accommodate these type of expenses. But look, $170,000, that's more than a starting engineer.
More than an investment banker
Yeah.
at a college.
This is the interesting dichotomy. Everyone wants to go to this digital age. Like you could go, people will take a $40,000 a year doing social media marketing, but you could easily go get a UPS driver job, and make $100,000.
Yeah. But it's the allure
Yeah.
that the social media marketing job leads to being
In corporate America, to make $170,000 a year
hard.
takes what, 5-10
But
years?
the UPS driver that's making 170 is not a fresh out of college UPS driver. I'm sure they're tenured experience, 10 years.
But let's say you're 18 years old and you are like on the track. You don't think within 5 years you're making 170 grand a year? For sure.
Yeah, but it's your interest. If that job is interesting to you, you can't tell someone who wants to do social media marketing go jump in a truck and drive.
I think you should. I think if you do social media marketing, you should think about jumping in the truck and drive. Drive for 10 years.
It's a tough job.
Okay.
A UPS driver is a much harder job than social media
Do you know what I
marketing.
hear when I hear social media marketing? People are like, I have mental health issues because I'm being on social media so much. You chose the fucking profession. You didn't think about maybe sitting on TikTok 11 hours a day is bad for your health.
I mean, do you see the way you go to any residential office area? The UPS driver's hustling.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's an easy job, but it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
If you're 18 years old and you can get that job by like
So what do
2021.
the cross-country truck drivers make?
Yeah.
They
UPS is local, dude. You're just going down the street.
Those guys must be making a lot with overtime.
Yeah. And with Yellow going bankrupt, I think all these freight prices are going to go up, causing like more inflation. Fascinating. But shout out to all the drivers.
Yeah.
It's a big bag. All right. Losers.
My loser's ESPN.
Oh.
I feel like they're just grasping.
My loser is actually Disney.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
They're just grasping.
And I'm not even because of the ESPN situation. It's funny, even in our own Discord, people have said that Disneyland and Disney World feel visibly less busy. And
this is not the right time of year. We should be hearing that.
No. And I jokingly said it to someone when I was in Las Vegas. I was like, do you really think people are not going because Disney is like woke? And he goes, I'm never stepping in there.
But the same person had other offhanded comments.
Yeah, but like he has grandkids and he's like, I'm not going with my grandkids there. I'm not paying for it. You put it like this. If 10 million people feel like that and they have grandkids, that grandparents is probably taking a percentage of people that go to Disney. If all the conservative grandparents say, I'm not stepping foot in there.
Doesn't feel like a grandparent venue.
I'm just saying grandparents are probably footing the fucking bill. And I think like when you look at it, all of this like negative reaction to whether it's the left or the right, it is now having an impact on people's businesses. Both sides, right? Like I think there's a lot of things that have been impacted.
I think Disneyland is just COVID
I'm telling you,
ended.
you don't know people like that. Your bubble is like very liberal. I'm in the rest of the country all day, and people literally will not step foot in Disneyland because they think they're woke.
Yeah, my reason for ESPN being a loser is I just think the brand's so much less relevant.
No, I'm saying I know you're talking about an ESPN thing, but ESPN, I would argue, the same problem. How many older white people?
I don't actually. I think the content that you could find on social media,
But that's
is
not
better
that,
than
the
watching.
60-year-old older white man is not watching ESPN because they're on social media. They're not watching it because they think it's too woke. 100%. They've been brainwashed to think that it's too woke. I'm telling you, it is.
I
Look
don't
what
know
they
if
did
I
to Bud
agree.
Light. That's just done.
I think that was just like a perfect storm. I haven't seen it happen to anyone else.
It's happened. I think ESPN's start of their decline was that it alienated a group of people who watch
no, I think you
sports.
could get the content elsewhere. YouTube, TikTok.
Not the
anywhere.
older person.
Your older person's on
But look
YouTube.
at Fox News is booming in ratings. How's that happening? They are watching TV. They're not going on social media and getting their news.
Well, Fox News has like what 2 million viewers at their peak. Their peak best show.
No, Tucker was at 6, 7
Tucker's
million.
not there anymore.
I'm saying, but their ratings are up for the same time slot. They're up.
But it's not a large number. The nominal number is not large.
Yeah, I'm just saying because like the alternative could be said that NFL, which has no politics in it, Hall of Fame game that just came out last week, which is a completely useless game. I don't think one star played. I watched 5 minutes of it. I literally did not recognize the names of the players. Got 5.9 million viewers, which was higher than every I think NBA playoff game, and I think almost every NBA playoff game, and higher than the home run derby, double Wimbledon men's championship.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But I'm just saying, it's
There's
just
no
like
Americans playing in Wimbledon.
yeah. But my point is
That's
that
a 6:30 a.m. start.
it just shows like the relevance of the sport, but I think it also like it does, as people don't realize, the politics of these things do turn certain people off.
Certain people, but not at scale. And I think social media thinks it's at scale.
I think Disney's 100% affected by it. I think Disneyland, and the movies obviously are not connecting either. They have no blockbuster movies.
That could just be a quality problem.
Yeah, but I think there's certain demographic because of the changes in the movies. They just go ahead and say it. Like, I'm sure the conversations internally at Disney are like, do we need to like throw the other side of bone in a movie or something?
Yeah.
All right. Content.
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm dying to watch a Johnny Manziel Untold Story. I believe it's on Netflix, and I've seen clips. And he made the documentary, so you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. So I think he's going to go out of his way to make himself look useless and terrible. That's probably how he sold it, made a lot of money.
Why? I think he's one of probably the most famous sports figures of the last decade.
Yeah, but like the clip is that went viral once the show or the documentary went out was the GM and the coaches going to Johnny Manziel's agent saying, this guy doesn't watch film. And he goes, of course he watches some film. He goes, no, we have an iPad tracking how much film he watched. He's watched 0 minutes of film. So just making this brass, like...
That shows how good he was in college. Because if he was not watching film, he was that good. He was just...
And he apparently, I haven't seen it, so I saw this on social media that... Remember everyone thought he was a rich kid?
Yeah.
That they lied about all that. He was just doing illegal autograph signings. That's how he had money to spend.
But why was the narrative that he came from money? Who said
So
that?
that people, when he's spending money,
they won't question it.
Get busted.
Wow.
He's kind of smart.
Yeah. I love Johnny Manziel.
And he's got a bar now at Texas A&M.
I'm sure that thing...
College Station.
It's got to be slammed.
Has to be.
Yeah. I would go to Johnny Manziel's bar. I have a great video of him and I downing a bottle of 42
Nice.
at Coachella.
You should post it. And
Yeah, I never posted it because I was like, man, this guy's a professional football player. I don't want to share this. It's an amazing video. All right. My content recommendation. I listened to the Mark Andreessen Joe Rogan podcast. Fascinating.
Great.
Really interesting. Just because it jumps on like, I like that they just talked about 35 different things.
Post Malone's on Rogan.
Again?
Yeah. I don't think they're talking about Martians.
Why does I haven't listened to a lot of Joe Rogan. Why always talking about aliens? Like, shut up.
It's whatever he cares about.
I mean, I've only listened to like 5 episodes and 4 were about aliens.
Think about what everyone cares about, aliens.
I mean,
All we've heard about the last 3 months is UFO sightings, the congressional hearing on aliens. Everyone's so, I don't give a shit about aliens, but everyone's so curious. How many sci-fi movies are on aliens?
even because of that, I used to think there was aliens. I think there's no aliens. It's all bullshit now.
That's like,
The fact that all I'm hearing about is aliens, I don't believe it anymore.
yeah, there's this graphic that, see, we're talking about aliens now.
Yeah.
That aliens are only seen in like United States and Europe, and the rest of the world there's no aliens.
Yeah. Everyone else don't give a shit. Yeah. Fuck aliens. Idiots.
Shout outs.
Big shout out list here. First one's from Anand.
Yeah, to Jackie,
Yeah.
longtime supporter of the pod,
Yeah. Helps us out with every episode.
turns 40. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. The big 4-0. That's exciting. Happy birthday, Jackie. The next one from Rocket Coffin to Gilly. Gilly, we have another mission for you. I mean, vacation. Destination Galapagos Island to save the turtles and inspire Hannah's next art piece. Eagles fly at 2300. I'm sure that has some sort of subliminal messaging that
Another guy going to Taylor Swift tonight, Gilly.
Gilly's going to Taylor Swift. Why he texted you just about what? Like
Just ask me 100 questions.
What you're fucking going? What are you asking? What song plays when? Or parking situation?
Set up, all this stuff.
Like what? I don't know exact stupid question he asked.
I don't want to out him.
What was it? Is it around logistics? Or is it around like what song she's playing?
No, it was like, how did you get the setup you had? Because he heard the pod.
Got it.
And
I mean,
said,
he knows. He knows who to call. All right. From Abby Johnson.
Now I'm going to get a text from Gilly tomorrow morning.
Well, I mean, why are you asking all these questions? Just go to the concert, have a good time. From Abby Johnson to D. All right. Shout out to D. I DM'd him about my hat order and I responded immediately. I got a notification the next day that it shipped out. He's dedicated to work and doing things the correct way, which is why he's rich as fuck. I wish I was. My husband, Neil, and cousin Caroline and I are all huge Alabama Cathies. D is the best. Roll Tide. I love Alabama. Alabama football has brought me a lot of joy. It's amazing. The next is from Saya to Benaz, who we've actually met. They've actually come to the group chat studios. Hey, just a Kathy here requesting a birthday shout out from my mom. Obviously, it's her daughter and her brother were here last March to sit on a podcast in person. It is her 51st birthday on August 1st. Happy late birthday. I just want her to know how much I love her and appreciate her. She is my best friend. I'm proud of her in every way. I will miss her when I go back to college, but want her to know that she'll be okay, and so will I. She can obviously come visit me whenever. Thank you guys. Big Kathy family right here. Very, very sweet and happy birthday. 51, you're very young, just getting started. All right, next shout out. From GT to Rory. Big shout out to my amazing fiance, Rory. As we approach our wedding on September 16th, I can't help but reflect on the past 11 to 12 years of love and support she's given me. She purchased my first 5-4 subscription, and we have been fans ever since. Rory, you've been my rock, my confidant, and my biggest cheerleader. I'm incredibly grateful for your presence in my life, and I love you more than words can express. Here's to a lifetime of happiness together. Wow. What a shout out. That could be your wedding vows.
Yeah.
Next is from Jad, our good friend Jad, to his wife, Jessica Sebastian. Got to make my first shout out to Jessica, her team at Maven, and friends at Roku on their premiere for their series, The Marriage Pact. Jess makes the impossible possible and deserves the world. And if Roku is listening, The series deserves a second season, so let's fucking go. Love the pod, boys. Keep up the work. That show looks right up my alley. I saw the preview. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The next is from Steph to Paul. Paul's killing it at his role as an executive key account manager, according to clients and numerous others at the company. But we know bosses can make or break things. Just want to give him a shout out for sticking things out for the fam. He is the best. Good work, Paul. Keep it up. Next is from Shiv to Rahul, wishing you a happy 34th birthday for introducing me to the #1 podcast in the world, and most importantly, being a young, ambitious entrepreneur who retired his parents and launched a successful e-commerce business at such a young age. Love you and so proud of you. Awesome.
A lot of heartwarming messages
Yeah,
today.
it's really like positive.
Yeah.
I would shout out, I ran into...
Except you shitted on Gilly for no reason.
I don't like him asking all these questions. Just go and have fun. Why are you trying to overthink it? He's going to be wasted anyways. He's going to be blackout drunk singing 22. Am I right?
No comment.
And then last, I ran into Eric Lee, who's a friend of the pod out of Atlanta. A shout out to him and his fiance are getting married.
Oh, wow.
He was really drunk, but he's like, do you want to officiate the wedding? I said, sure, I'd love to.
Really?
Yeah. I said, you give me the dates and you're serious about it. I'll officiate the wedding.
So the wedding's in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's just outside in Atlanta.
When's the wedding?
Sometime in October. I was like, give me the dates. If your fiance approves it, I'll fly out and officiate.
First officiant duties.
I would crush that. I need some background content, how you met, you know. I could even write it if you don't even want me there. I'll write the thing and send it to you guys.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Incredible episode. Great to be back. We will see you back on Sunday. Do you have anything else? Parting words?
No. Enjoy the weekend.
Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. I don't know why my grass is dying, but it's dead, and we're watering our grass. So that is my plan for the weekend, to understand what's really going on here. All right. See you Sunday.
Peace.